Welcome to the channel where today we dive deep into the extraordinary world of rare and valuable coins. And what if I told you that a simple 20-cent coin from 1968, bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II and no mint mark, could be worth a small fortune today? Sit tight, because what seems like ordinary pocket change could actually be your golden ticket. The Australian 20-cent coin from 1968 holds a truly iconic place in the history of Australian currency. It was part of the early decimal coinage series introduced just a couple of years after Australia transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents in 1966. The 1968 coin continued the same design, the beloved platypus on the reverse side, a creature that represents uniqueness and resilience, much like the coin itself. But what makes this coin so special, so different from the rest? First, we must understand that the 1968 version had no mint mark, which means it was minted exclusively at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. The absence of a mint mark is not a flaw, it's a defining trait that collectors crave. While millions were produced, only a handful have survived in high-quality condition over the decades. You see, finding a 1968 20-cent coin in flawless, uncirculated, or proof-like condition is no easy task. Most of them were heavily used in daily transactions, scratched, worn, or even melted over the years. But a pristine specimen? That's where the value skyrockets. Collectors worldwide are on the hunt for the highest grade examples, and when demand meets rarity, the price can go through the roof. Let's talk dollars, real money. A circulated 1968 20-cent coin might fetch a modest sum, but if you're one of the lucky few holding a mint state, uncirculated version, your coin could be worth anywhere from $30,500 to over $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, thousands of dollars for a single 20-cent piece. In auctions and private collector sales, some of the finest examples have even exceeded that, depending on eye appeal, luster, and condition. So why is it so valuable? Because it's not just about age, it's about survivability in top condition. The numismatic world places incredible importance on preservation. A 1968 coin that looks brand new today is like a time capsule, a piece of Australia's history frozen in perfection. These coins are like rare artwork. The fewer there are, the more collectors are willing to pay. Let me tell you something motivating. People have discovered these coins in old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, or even between couch cushions. And once professionally graded and authenticated, they've sold them for life-changing amounts. Imagine turning something you thought was junk into a $50,000 treasure. The 1968 20-cent coin also carries emotional value for many Australians. It was one of the early coins young Australians used when decimal currency was still a new concept. Holding such a coin feels like holding a piece of national heritage, a memory from simpler times that is becoming more and more valuable with every passing year. Now here's the exciting part, you might already have one. It could be sitting in an old drawer, passed down from your grandparents, or mixed in with other change. So go ahead, check your stash. Look for a 1968 20-cent coin. Make sure it has no visible mint mark. Examine its condition closely. If it shines bright with minimal scratches or damage, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And remember, if you find one in promising condition, don't rush to sell it. First, get it graded by a professional numismatic authority. A grading service will examine its condition and assign it a grade, which plays a huge role in determining how much it can sell for in today's market. A coin graded MS66 or higher is considered a premium asset in the collector world. Should you sell it right away? Not necessarily. These coins are going up in value every year as fewer high-grade examples remain. If you're not in urgent need of cash, you might even consider holding on to it a little longer. Some collectors believe its value could easily reach $10,000 or more in the coming years due to rising demand and scarcity. This coin isn't just a collector's item, it's an investment. A historic artifact. A shining example of how patience, attention to detail, and a bit of luck can turn a forgotten coin into a financial windfall. So if you're looking to begin your journey into coin collecting or simply want to discover hidden value in everyday items, this 1968 20-cent piece is the perfect place to start. Ladies and gentlemen, Let this be your motivation. Treasure isn't always buried under the ground. Sometimes, it's lying right in front of you. Take action today. Go through your change. Explore your collections. Share this video with your friends and family. You never know who might be sitting on a coin worth thousands. Because that 20-cent coin from 1968, with no mint mark, perfect shine, and flawless detail, could be your key to unlocking $80,000 or more. And the best part? It's already in your hands, just waiting to be discovered. Next up, the 1970 Elizabeth II 20-cent coin with no mint mark. This isn't just another coin in your change jar. It holds the potential to become one of the most valuable and collectible pieces in your entire collection. Let's begin with the history. The 1970 20-cent coin was part of Australia's early decimal currency system, which began in 1966. By this time, Australians were already familiar with the 20-cent piece featuring the beloved platypus on one side and Queen Elizabeth II on the other. While 1970 may not have seemed like a special year at the time, the coins minted in this year have gained attention from collectors worldwide due to their quality, subtle design differences, and their ever-growing rarity in top condition. Unlike coins from other countries that carry obvious mint marks indicating where they were made, most standard Australian coins of the time, including this 1970 version, came with no mint mark, a characteristic that now enhances their appeal. They were minted in Canberra at the Royal Australian Mint, which produced millions for circulation. However, most of those have been heavily worn out through years of use. The true value of the 1970 20-cent coin lies not in how many were made, but in how many have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. That's where rarity meets opportunity. A coin that looks untouched by time, shining, clean, and sharply detailed, is a prized asset in the numismatic world. Collectors are on the hunt for such high-grade examples, and they're willing to pay thousands for the right coin. Now let's talk about value. At the present time, a regular circulated 1970 20-cent coin may not fetch an enormous sum, but if you possess a specimen in mint state condition, you could easily be looking at a coin worth anywhere from $10,500 to over $40,500 depending on its grade, eye appeal, and whether it has been professionally authenticated and graded. And those values are not just random figures, they're based on real collector market activity, auction results, and rising demand trends. The exciting part is how the future looks for this coin. Many collectors and experts believe that coins like the 1970 20-cent piece will only increase in value over time. Because fewer and fewer of them remain in high-grade condition, and as more collectors enter the hobby, the competition for such coins grows fiercer. Coins that were once overlooked are now being re-evaluated for their scarcity, design, and historical importance. Imagine this. You come across a perfectly preserved 1970 20-cent coin in a coin album or an old collection. You get it professionally graded, and it comes back with an MS-65 or higher grade. That little piece of silver-toned metal could now be worth over $50,000 on the collector's market. That's more than a luxury vacation, a top-tier laptop, or even a used car. That's the magic of numismatics. The coin itself holds a timeless design. The reverse side features a gliding platypus, a symbol of Australian uniqueness, and the obverse side carries the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which has changed over the years, making this earlier version even more desirable for collectors who appreciate evolution in coinage. The more we advance in time, the more these earlier portraits gain nostalgic and historical significance. It's important to understand that while value fluctuates slightly with the market, high-grade examples continue to set new records at coin shows and online auctions. There have been instances where a superbly preserved 1970 coin, housed in a protective slab, fetched more than $6,000 from an eager collector wanting to complete a top-tier decimal coin set. You may wonder, should I sell my 1970 20-cent coin now or hold on to it? Well, if your coin is in brilliant condition, it may be smarter to hold it as a long-term investment. Just like real estate or gold, rare coins have consistently shown growth over the years. Especially coins with cultural and historical significance, like this one, have the potential to become even more valuable. Here's your motivation: coins like the 1970 20-cent are hiding in plain sight. They may be lying in old drawers, forgotten piggy banks, inherited collections, or even in your own wallet. You never know when a casual glance could turn into a life-changing discovery. So don't wait. Start looking. Examine those old coins with a magnifying glass and a careful eye. If you're serious about maximizing its value, get the coin graded by a reputable service. A high grade not only proves its authenticity and condition but dramatically increases its market appeal. Many buyers only consider graded coins, especially when paying thousands of dollars, because it offers peace of mind and trust in the transaction. There's a growing trend in Australia and globally where collectors are now turning to earlier decimal coins. As younger generations embrace the hobby, demand is expanding. The supply of top-grade 1970 coins, however, is not. That's why the future of this coin looks brighter than ever. There's genuine potential for this coin to cross the $70,000 mark in the next few years, especially as more collectors compete for a limited pool of elite examples. To summarize, this isn't just a coin, it's a piece of Australia's monetary and royal history. It represents a time of change, growth, and identity. And for you, it could represent opportunity, success, and unexpected fortune. So don't ignore those old coins. Check them, treasure them, and learn about them, because one 20-cent coin from 1970 could be your key to a big payday. Next up, the 1978 Australia Elizabeth 20-cent coin with no mint mark. You may think it's just an ordinary coin, but after watching this video, you'll never look at it the same way again. The year was 1978. Australia was deep into its second decade of decimal currency, and the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was producing millions of coins to support the growing economy. Among them was the 20-cent coin, a stainless steel beauty featuring Queen Elizabeth II on one side and the iconic platypus design on the other, a symbol of modern currency blended with native Australian identity. Unlike some commemorative coins or coins minted in low numbers, the 1978 20-cent coin didn't scream rarity at first. But now, decades later, something unexpected is happening. More and more collectors are scrambling to find this particular year in pristine, untouched condition. Because it's getting harder and harder to find well-preserved examples, and that's where the true value begins to shine. The 1978 20-cent coin was minted without any mint mark, just like most circulation coins of that time. But what separates this coin is not a special design or error, it's the fact that almost every coin from that year has seen heavy use. Today, very few examples exist in uncirculated or mint state condition. Those that do are climbing fast in value, and interest among collectors is soaring. So just how many people are trying to get their hands on this coin? The answer is thousands. In Australia and around the world, collectors of decimal coinage are growing in number. Online forums, collector groups, and auction platforms have all seen a spike in searches for high-grade 1978 20-cent coins. It has become a key target for those aiming to complete full sets of high-condition decimal coins from the 1970s. As for current value, this is where things get exciting. A circulated example may bring in modest figures, but when you step into the territory of brilliant uncirculated or proof-like condition, the value jumps significantly. In today's market, verified uncirculated 1978 20-cent coins have sold for $7,500 to over $20,200, depending on quality and grading. Coins with certified high grades can demand even more from passionate collectors. Now, imagine if that coin sitting quietly in your drawer was one of those rare few. A coin that never got scratched, never saw a vending machine, and never made its way into pocket change. That single piece of metal could be worth more than your monthly rent. And as time goes on, its value is only going to increase. The rise in value isn't just a trend, it's part of a broader movement in coin collecting. Australian coins from the late 70s and early 80s are being re-evaluated as significant historical pieces. Not only are they vintage now, but they also reflect a changing Australia, both politically and economically. Coins like the 1978 20-cent are now considered symbols of that transformation, and collectors want them more than ever. If you have one, what should you do? First, examine its condition carefully. If it has that original shine, little to no scratches, and sharp detail on both sides, you're in luck. Protect it. Place it in a coin flip or protective case, and keep it away from moisture, oils, and handling. This will help preserve or even enhance its future value. Should you sell now or hold? That depends. Some collectors are already receiving offers well into the four-figure range for top-grade examples. However, many experts believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, the best specimens could fetch $3,000 or more, as supply continues to shrink and demand only grows. To sell your 1978 20-cent coin, consider listing it through reputable platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, or specialized coin dealers. Better yet, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, your coin becomes a verified asset, and the offers that come in will likely reflect that. Many buyers are willing to pay thousands, but only if the coin's condition has been officially certified. If you're interested in buying one, the time to act is now. Prices are still within reach for dedicated collectors, but they're climbing rapidly. Waiting even another year could mean paying double. So whether you're starting a collection or investing for the future, a high-grade 1978 20-cent coin is an excellent choice. Remember, this coin isn't just a piece of money. It's a story. A journey from the mint in 1978 to your hands today. It's a symbol of how everyday objects can become valuable treasures, and how patience and awareness can turn into serious profit. The best part is, you don't need to be a professional collector. All it takes is one coin in the right condition to change everything. So go ahead, search your drawers, your shelves, and your family's old coin jars. Look closely at the 20-cent coins from 1978. That one small disc of steel could be worth more than your weekly paycheck. And if you find it, protect it, grade it, and watch it rise in value year after year. Next up, the 1980 Elizabeth II 20-cent coin with no mint mark. This simple, silver-toned coin could be the hidden gem you've been sitting on for years, and it might be worth a surprising amount of money. Let's start by peeling back the layers of history. The 1980 Australia 20-cent coin was part of the decimal currency series introduced in 1966. This coin features the timeless portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the elegant, gliding platypus on the reverse. These two iconic designs were not just decorative choices, they were deliberate representations of authority and Australia's unique wildlife heritage. In 1980, the Royal Australian Mint produced a substantial number of 20-cent coins. However, finding one in brilliant, uncirculated condition today is a real challenge. Over the years, most of these coins were used heavily in circulation, suffering the usual scratches, dings, and general wear. That's where rarity and value come in. The key lies in condition. A flawless 1980 coin can be worth a lot more than you'd expect. This particular coin was minted in Canberra and, like others from that period, it does not bear a mint mark. That absence is completely normal for standard circulation coins of that era, and it adds a sense of authenticity to its identity. Unlike commemorative or low-mintage specialty coins, this 20-cent piece quietly built its legacy by being everywhere, and now, the pristine few are becoming highly sought after. So how valuable can this coin be today? That's the exciting part. A typical circulated version may not be jaw-dropping, but if you have a well-preserved or uncirculated example, especially one that's been professionally graded, you could be looking at offers from $9,000 to over $20,800 depending on the quality, shine, and grading results. That's a huge return on a coin that once bought a packet of chips. And if you think that's all, think again. The coin market is constantly evolving. As more collectors enter the space, and as older coins continue to vanish from circulation, the demand for older high-grade coins is rising fast. Experts believe that pristine 1980 20-cent coins could command prices of $30,500 or more in the near future if trends continue. Now let's talk about where you can buy or sell this treasure. If you're looking to buy one, check reputable numismatic websites, online auctions, or coin expos in your region. Many collectors trade through certified dealers who guarantee authenticity and condition. On the other hand, if you're looking to sell your coin, eBay, heritage coin auctions, and specialist coin forums are fantastic places to reach eager buyers. But don't rush to sell the moment you find one. Take your time. First, inspect its condition. If it looks crisp, uncirculated, and free of any serious damage, consider getting it professionally graded. Services like PCGS or NGC can verify its condition and assign it a grade, which can increase its value significantly. A sealed and graded coin has greater appeal to collectors and gives buyers the confidence to pay top dollar. Should you keep it or sell it? That depends on your financial goals, but many collectors choose to keep such coins as long-term investments. The coin is over 40 years old, and with the increasing interest in historical Australian coinage, it is very likely that values will continue to rise. Holding on to your 1980 20-cent coin could pay off even more a few years down the road. There is something deeply satisfying about owning a coin like this. It's not just about money, it's about preserving history. It's about holding a tangible piece of a different era, when life was different and so was the value of money. Every time you look at it, you're reminded that sometimes the most ordinary things turn out to be the most extraordinary. The platypus on the reverse side of this coin reminds us that Australia is unlike any other place in the world. Just like that animal, this coin is one of a kind. And now, with rising collector demand, it's no longer just pocket change, it's a conversation piece, a collectible, and for many, a small fortune. Coin collecting is not just a hobby anymore, it's a growing investment space. Just like rare watches or vintage cars, high-quality coins have become assets. The 1980 Australia 20-cent coin is now part of that trend. The earlier you get into this market, the better your chances of profiting from rising values and limited supply. The best part? You may already have one. It could be sitting in an old drawer, passed down in a family collection, or tossed into a piggy bank. So don't ignore your old coins. Take a second look. If you find that 1980 20-cent coin gleaming back at you in superb condition, you could be holding $20,500 or more in your fingers. Ladies and gentlemen, don't underestimate what's already in your hands. This coin has value, beauty, history, and financial potential. It's a reminder that hidden treasures are closer than you think, sometimes sitting right in your home, waiting to be discovered. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins. And remember, the next time you hear that metallic clink in your pocket, you just might be hearing the sound of your next big opportunity.